The climate of our planet has been variable over the past millions of years. However, over the last century only, the average temperature on Earth has risen to levels that have never been reached in the last hundreds of thousands of years. It is to the point that some scientists are calling our times the Anthropocene because the extent of this increase is so great that it is comparable to a new geological era. The increase in the average global temperature also comes with other changes. For example, there is a stark rise in extreme weather events such as droughts and floods, which have catastrophic effects. So, this is not only a global warming, but also a climate change. Since the mid-1850s, scientists have known that greenhouse gases in the atmosphere are responsible for the Earth's temperature. It is important to say that without the natural greenhouse effect from certain gases, including water vapour and carbon dioxide, our planet would be an almost uninhabitable snowball with an average temperature of -18 degrees Celsius. In short, the more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the higher the temperature. To assess what is behind the changes that we observe, scientists have been studying the differences between today's Earth and how it was around the start of the 19th century. There are indeed a number of changes that could potentially affect the climate: solar activity, the Earth's orbit, volcanic eruptions, land types in use, and the composition of the atmosphere. Looking at the extent of these changes and their potential impact on climate, results point without ambiguity to concentrations of long-lived greenhouse gases, prominently carbon dioxide and methane, which have grown by 50% and 300% respectively. Looking into the sources of these gases, it appears that emissions from use of fossil fuels by human activities is what has been driving these dramatic increases. In the past 40 years, scientists have been able to develop digital models that allow us to represent all the processes happening on our planet. These models are getting more and more powerful and realistic, with increased resolution and details on the physical and chemical processes, to the extent that we now speak of digital twins of the Earth. The numerical models allow scientists to experiment and compare simulations of the past century with and without considering human effects, such as deforestation and emissions of pollutants and greenhouse gases. The models clearly and quantitatively demonstrate that not only the simulations that account for human effects correspond to what we are observing in real life. Therefore, the IPCC, which brings together the world's best experts, has concluded without doubt in its most recent report that observed warming is driven by emissions from human activities. Nevertheless, this statement also brings hope. It will take time and substantial effort, but if countries put in place effective measures to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions significantly, we can stop climate change and keep our planet in a state that is not too different from the one we know today.